Should I look up a little camera? I'm frozen on here. Hey, can you guys see me? It's Kelly. I'm gonna start to get set up for class. I'm so excited. I want everyone to check their audio, make sure you can hear me. If you need to adjust your volume, turn it up, turn it down. I'm gonna try and get set up so that I can see your comments as well. My husband Andy is here to handle all the tech stuff, including this recording. Thank you, Andy. I love these classes, they're so much fun. And I'd love to know where you are tuning in from. You can tell me your state, your city. I'm here in Pittsburgh, PA. And I'd also love to know if you are new to freezer cooking or if you have already made some meals. Maybe you're a member of our Freezer Meal Pro site. I would love to do that. I love getting a sense of who's attending our classes. Oh, I can see a bunch of people are already logged in. Oh, I'm so excited. I know, I think Andy told me over 13,000 people had signed up for this class. So I'm just gonna pretend like I'm talking to you, one person, but I'm so excited. Hey Sherry, hi Dory, you don't have your screen yet. Hopefully we'll get that figured out. Francine, Judy, Francine, you're new, get ready. This is so fun. You're really going to see how easy my method of freezer cooking is, and I think you're gonna become hooked. Like a lot of the other people who are here today, I know people have tried my recipes. We always have a lot of members of our freezer cooking site, Freezer Meal Pro here. So they're gonna tell you, get ready, you're gonna get hooked. You're gonna wanna make these meals all the time. Sandy is here for her first class. Cheryl, you're new. Hey, Cheryl, thanks for joining. Hi, Christine, Teresa. This is great. I love seeing all your names. People can hear me. Rita, wonderful. Isn't it the best when technology cooperates? Like, we just like really, yay, it's working. Carol's here from Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Carol. I hope your weather is nicer than here. It's like super rainy, cold fall weather here in Pittsburgh. Maggie's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna wait maybe one more minute. Like I said, we had 13,000 people sign up for today's class, so I do want to give them a chance to log in. I don't want you to miss anything because I'm gonna jump in. I have all my ingredients set up. I have my bag set up. I am ready to go. Really excited to stock my freezer while I'm teaching you how to stock yours. Linda is new. Deborah, first time. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited. I can't believe how many people are new to this method of freezer cooking. I've been making these meals for years. I think I started this method about 9 years ago. So get ready. I've been doing it since then, every few weeks or month since then, making lots of meals. They really, really work. Beach weather in Florida, Ontario, Canada. I see a bunch of places. Winnipeg. Hey guys. Hi Joy, you're new. Stephanie, new. What's up? Hey guys. Linda has tikka masala in the crock pot. I love that recipe. I'm so glad you're making it. You could do it with chicken or chickpeas. So it's a really good dish for people who love meat and also vegetarians. I have heard one of our members told me she did half chicken, half chickpeas. That was a comment on our membership site, Freezer Meal Pro. I thought that was such a great idea too. That's a really good recipe. And different than like the typical crock pot soup or stew. Hi, Stephanie, Karen, Deb. Okay, I mean, we'll talk later. I am going to do Q&A, but I feel like we should get started. I know some people are here on their lunch break, and I really want to respect your time. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, I am Kelly from the Family Freezer, and I am so excited to teach you how to make 12 healthy freezer meals from ingredients at Costco. This is going to show you how to take those bulk ingredients and turn them into meals with a variety of tastes and textures, all healthy, all easy, simple, delicious, and can be frozen for months. This is your freebie. I'm calling this freebie because it is free. This is going to come to your email right when I'm done with class. It's there. I know people email me and say they can't find it. Look in your spam folder. You can also search your email for the Family Freezer. I'm telling you, I'm going to send this to you. And to all my planners out there, I am going to be speaking your love language with this. I am talking about super simple, super organized recipes. A full shopping list that's organized by aisle at the grocery store, and printable labels with the cooking instructions for all of these meals, crockpot instructions and Instant Pot instructions, all for free. This is in your email. I'll be sending it out right after class so that you can make all of the meals that I'm going to show you how to make today. Now, I know you are going to fall in love with this method of freezer cooking, so I will share a discount at the end for our best-selling membership site. It's called Freezer Meal Pro. I know we have a lot of members here today. Hey guys. But if you haven't joined yet, if you haven't seen it, get excited about that because you can even join for a discount today. But I want to jump in and show you how to make these meals. And I am going to start with the first recipe. I'm going to be making them in an assembly line, but our first recipe is a turkey and black bean chili. And I'm just gonna make them, like I said, in an assembly line, adding the meat to all of the meals at the end. I wanna point out again, I am sending you all of the recipes. And what's great about that is you don't need to take any notes while I'm cooking today. You don't need to be scribbling down on a piece of paper or typing on your computer what I'm adding to these bags because I'm going to send it to you. No stress at all. This is fun. This is like ladies' night out, kind of. Okay, adding to this bag is 2 cans of organic tomato sauce. This was from Costco. I'm gonna use the whole case here. And then I'm adding 2 cans of black beans. I already drained and rinsed them. And then I am going to add frozen corn. This is 1 bag, and I'm gonna split the bag between 3 freezer bags because I'm actually making 3 bags of the chili. That's how we're going to use all the ingredients from Costco and not have extra cans sitting in our pantry for the next 6 months or a year. We're gonna use them all today. And these meals are good for 3 months, at least 3 months. To be honest, I've never had a meal go bad. So you don't have to stress about, I'm gonna eat turkey chili 3 times this week. No, you're gonna eat it 1 time, and then over the next 3 months, you're going to have it again. So don't worry, you're gonna love this. And once you have it the first time, you're gonna be excited to have it again. It's a really good recipe. I'm just gonna add the tomato sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and add it to all 3 bags. So now that you know what we're doing here. And then I'll add the meat to all 12 meals at the very end. That way I can keep it in my refrigerator the entire time of the class. That way it doesn't sit out at room temperature, although you're gonna see these meals come together very quickly. I can tell you that when I started this method of freezer cooking 9 years ago, I had no idea like it was gonna explode the way it is today. 9 years ago, I had 2 daughters. So right now I have 5 kids. My parents are actually helping out with the 2 youngest. The other 3 girls are home. But I remember at that time, it felt like there was just not enough hours in the day. I was taking care of my daughters. I was trying to work, trying to clean our house, doing laundry, attempting to cook dinner every night. And it just felt like I didn't have time for all the other things that I wanted to do. And I've always been good at organizing and simplifying things. Maybe not good at like dusting or like other types of cleaning, but organizing and simplifying, that's my strength. So I thought, how can I do that with our meals? How can I simplify dinner time? And I had been making these freezer meals. Like I figured if I just add these ingredients to my crock pot raw, why couldn't I add them to a bag raw, seal it up, put it in my freezer, and cook it later? And it was almost like a light bulb went off where I started thinking, I have a lot of recipes like that. I have recipes for my skillet where I just put everything in the skillet. I have a sausage rigatoni. It tastes almost like pizza, just healthier, and has green peppers in it. So good. I cook that all in 1 pot, even the pasta. And I thought, why couldn't I freeze that? Even if I add the pasta the day of cooking, like, why couldn't I freeze that raw? And I have oven recipes like that. And like I said, it was almost this light bulb moment where I thought, if I didn't have to cook dinner every night, I could be playing with my daughters outside. I could maybe go for a quick run. I had a friend in the neighborhood who I could go for a walk with. I could sit down with my husband and say, "How was your day?" I could maybe like visit my grandparents for a short visit. It just seemed like I had this whole fantasy of what my life would look like if I wasn't stressed about cooking dinner every night. And so that weekend, I went ahead and made 5 meals. It took me less than an hour. I think it was 45 minutes. Sealed them up, made them for dinner that week, and like mind blown. Just realized how much time I could save, how much money I could save just with a little bit of planning. Now that was 9 years ago. Like I said, I had 2 daughters. Now I have 5 kids. I'm way busier. And that idea went viral, like literally went viral. I was sharing things on my blog and realized that other people needed those shortcuts too. And there was one month I shared a blog post that over 8 million people read it. It put our cookbook sales through the roof. We've now made over $1 million in cookbook sales, and led to my husband quitting his job and doing this with me full time. Like, how lucky am I? This is my job, making freezer meals and teaching other people about it. But it works. And that's why I'm still making these meals 9 years later with as busy of a life as I have now and as much going on, because this works. I want to just tell you what I added to these bags. Our turkey and black bean chili. You probably saw the tomato sauce, the black beans, the corn, and then the seasonings were paprika, chili powder, ground cumin, ground oregano, crushed red pepper flakes, and garlic powder. These are very flavorful meals. They're not going to be bland. You might sometimes see recipes on Instagram, on Pinterest, that might not be good. I hate to say that, but that has happened to me too. I remember I made a recipe, I think it was taco soup. And I was so excited about it. It looked really great. It didn't have a lot of seasoning, but I thought, okay, I'm following this recipe. And then I made it, and it was like disgusting, like unsalvageable. I had to dump it in the trash, and we ordered pizza for dinner. And that like literally ruined my night just because it was such a flop. So I want to encourage you, if you're new to these meals, just follow my recipes. I am only sharing recipes with you that are tried and true, that I have made for years, that I know you're going to love, because I want you to fall in love with this method of freezer cooking, and I want it to change your life. And that happens when it tastes delicious, when it has a lot of flavor, and when you have a variety, taste, textures, cooking methods, all those things that I put a lot of time and effort into planning for you. So I'm so excited for you. These 3 meals are already done. Like, I can already move on to our next recipe. I know someone is asking about these. These are Jacari hands-free baggie racks. I bought mine on Amazon. I don't work for Jacari. If you buy these, I maybe get like 2 cents. So I'm sharing these because I truly love them. They hold the bags upright when you're filling them. You can even adjust them. If you had a smaller bag, you would just make them smaller, and they go flat in your drawer when you're done. But I love these. They hold the bag upright. There was a time when I was making meatballs for my freezer, poured in a whole thing of spaghetti sauce, and the bag like spilled everywhere on the floor. And I like wanted to start crying because it was terrible. And I thought, this is $1 million idea. I'm going to make something to hold the bags upright. Then I went on Amazon, and hello, Jacari already did it. So instead of like coming up with some kind of new business or new product, I just bought them from Jacari. So that link is in your freebie with those recipes in your shopping list. There's a link if you want to buy these. If not, no sweat. You don't need to buy these. I'm just sharing them because I think they're cool, and I always use them when I make my freezer meals. They're just very helpful when I'm filling a bunch of bags. Let's move on. Our recipe number 2 is garden vegetable soup with ground turkey. I think you get a sense even from the name that this is a healthy recipe. All of my recipes and meals, I try and make them very healthy. There's a lot of crockpot recipes online. I go on Pinterest, I get hooked, I'm looking for new ideas, And then I click on the recipes, and what I find is a can of condensed mushroom soup and another recipe that's like a bottle of Dr. Pepper mixed with maybe broth. Okay, broth is good. I don't have a problem with chicken broth or beef broth. But my point is, I'm not going to put soda pop in my recipes. I'm fine with cheating and having those things occasionally. I don't think anything's off limits. We don't have any dietary limitations in my house. But if we can eat a healthy homemade dinner, I just feel so much better about those occasional cheats and like ordering pizza every so often. So when I make dinner, I want it to be as healthy as possible. And that's what's so great to me about these meals and what I think sets these meals apart from so many other sites online. Okay, I added my tomato sauce, and that was 6 cans of this organic tomato sauce from Costco, which means they're all gone. Woo! Use them all. If you do not belong to Costco, you can still make these meals. You could buy these ingredients at Sam's Club. You could go to Aldi. You can go to your local grocery store. These are not like Costco specific ingredients. You can get them anywhere. It was just really fun to think, how can I use these bulk ingredients and incorporate them into a bunch of meals? But anyone can make them. In this soup, it calls for a can of beans. In the recipe, I actually put cannellini beans. It's a white kidney bean. And then when I went shopping at Costco, I bought the 8 cans of black beans. I used it for my turkey chili, and I figured, why not just use these in the soup too? So these recipes are very versatile. You can do that. And then I added navy beans because these are already in my pantry. So why not use those up? Make these work for you. If you don't like black beans, you could use kidney beans in like every single one. The best recipe is one that you love, that your family loves, and that you're gonna make again. Okay, in our soup, we're gonna add carrots. I bought a 2-pound bag of baby carrots, and I washed my hands. I'm just gonna use my hands because I don't wanna drop these everywhere. I'm just gonna put these in the soup. I love the baby carrots. They are pre-peeled. They had a 2-pound bag at Costco, and I'm just gonna eyeball them between bags. You totally can use baked carrots too, peel them, slice them. That works. I was just going for saving time. And then at Costco, they came with another bag of 2-pound baby carrots, and my family actually loves baby carrots. That's like my snack when I'm trying to make myself eat healthy. I can convince myself to eat a couple baby carrots, and my 2-year-old loves baby carrots. So, hey, if you can get a 2-year-old to eat vegetables, you buy that vegetable. So that's why I bought the baby carrots. Add those to the soup. And then the soup also calls for zucchini. My Costco didn't have zucchini, so I ended up doing baby spinach. If you have zucchini and you love it, great. If not, well, let's swap off for that baby spinach. I'm just gonna do a couple handfuls. I'm gonna do, let's say like 3 handfuls in each bag. It's totally fine to eyeball this. That's one of the things I love about crock-pot recipes, Instant Pot recipes. It's really hard to mess them up. No stress, no need to be perfect. They're really gonna turn out great every single time. I'll tell you, when I was at Costco, okay, I haven't been to Costco in a while. If you go, just a random recommendation, in their prep session, they have these street tacos. It's like in their prep foods. Blackened chicken with shredded coleslaw, salsa, lime slices. They have these little corn tortillas. Okay, I don't work for Costco either, but those were so good. We had them for lunch over the weekend, so just like another random thing you might want to buy if you go to Costco. I'm gonna move my spinach. What else goes in our soup? An onion. This is a time-saving hack. This is from my local grocery store. Sorry, Costco. These are diced onions. They're in the freezer section. They cost $1 a bag. And instead of dicing an onion, I am just gonna use 1 cup. I love doing this. I really tried to convince myself to buy a huge bag of onions at Costco, and I just could not force myself to buy all those onions because I was just thinking about having to peel all of them, dice all of them, cry over all of them, and I really just wanted to buy these diced onions. like I said, they were a $1 bag. I think the Costco was like $5 for a huge bag. And so I thought, oh, maybe I would have gotten slightly more onions, but oh, I'm even saving money by just doing the frozen ones. So if you can find those, I love them in these freezer meals. They're so great. You might see, I keep wiping my hands on this apron. Let me back up. My mom actually made this. When she saw me making freezer meals, she realized I was using like a roll of paper towels. That as I was moving fast, I kept wiping my hands, and I would be wiping out my cup, my teaspoon, my tablespoon. And she had this genius idea of making aprons and attaching a towel. She made this for me. And then so many people started asking about them. She opened an Etsy shop. So if you want to get one of these, my mom can actually make one for you. She's only one person. So she can't make 13,000 of them or however many people are watching this. But she will make them. I'm going to put a link to her Etsy shop in your freebie with your recipes if you're interested. They make great gifts too, but I just love this. It's like now when I make freezer meals, I need my apron. What else goes in our meal? A tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, let's go ahead and add that. When I bought these ingredients at Costco, I spent $120. So that works out to $10 a meal. They have 4 to 6 servings. I think that's amazing. I even got, in what I ordered, I had 2 extra packages of ground turkey. So that $10, if I didn't include that in the cost, it would only be $9.25 per meal with 4 to 6 servings. And so even if, let's say you're having garlic bread with this soup, or I like kind of like to have grilled cheese with it if I have leftovers for lunch. But even if you're adding a side dish or something, these are so really budget-friendly meals. You can save so much money. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that we ordered pizza over the weekend, and we had pizza, breadsticks, salad, chicken fingers, and fries. Granted, I have 7 people in my family, but that was $60, not including a tip. And we've gone to Wendy's recently, and that was, I think, at least $40. So spending $9.25 on a freezer meal is like a no-brainer. Does anyone else want to save money on their food budget? Like, yes. I mean, I'm always trying to save money. I have, anyone else have like a spreadsheet? I'm like such a spreadsheet junkie. But for our budget, and it's like, how can I cut food budget? This is your answer: planning ahead with easy and healthy meals. Here's what I'm going to add to our soup. Okay, let me go over everything I've added so far. We added our tomato sauce, beans, carrots, zucchini, or in my case, baby spinach, olive oil, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and now I'm going to add chicken bouillon. Now this is called Better Than Bouillon roasted chicken base from Costco. It's organic, reduced sodium. You don't have to use this. You could use chicken broth. But what I love about this is it doesn't take up a lot of space in the bag. So you can add this. I'm going to kind of do like a rounded tablespoon. So that would be about, I would say that's about 4 teaspoons. And then the day of cooking, I'm just going to add water. You can also do this with bouillon granules that you buy at the grocery store. This was $5.99. Like, isn't that crazy? I think when I buy the cartons of organic chicken broth, like even on sale, they're at least $2. So I love this as another cost savings, and that the bags are pretty much done. You only need to add water. Although I told you that you get your labels. So let me point those out one more time. I made you labels for all these meals. I made these in Photoshop. And you can just print them on regular computer paper. Tape them to your bags with clear shipping tape. Or you can be a super planner like me. Anyone else? Any other planners out there? And print them on stickers. I bought these Avery stickers on Amazon, stuck them on. These do peel right off when you go to wash the bags. And this has your cooking instructions. So it says right on here, add 4 cups of water. If the bouillon's in here, add 4 cups of water. It tells you that for the crock pot. It tells you how long to cook it. Same for the Instant Pot. It tells you how you can cook it from frozen in your Instant Pot. That is great if you have someone else putting this meal in the crock pot in the morning, maybe a spouse, maybe a teen. Maybe you're giving this to someone as a gift. They're gonna know what's in this meal, the ingredients, as well as how to cook it. Love the labels, super time saver. Okay, that is everything in our soup. That means we get to move on to recipe number 3. We are moving right along, and I think by now you can probably see how much time you can save when you're doing this method of freezer cooking. What I do, all of my recipes, is freeze them raw. That means they're coming together very quickly, and they cook for the very first time the day you're going to eat it. So they cook the first time in the crock pot, the first time in the Instant Pot. These aren't leftovers. If you want to freeze the leftovers and eat them again later, sure, you can. But they're going to taste exactly like a freshly prepared meal. There is no downside to these freezer meals. And it is fine. If you've never done ground turkey in the crock pot, you can do that. Add it raw. You just break it up after cooking. I think it's actually more tender than when you cook it on the stovetop. If you wanted to do that, you could, but it's an extra step. It takes more time. You're going to have to let it cool before you add it to the freezer bag. Give it a try. Try all raw. It's going to change your life. Trust me, you can do this. Let me show you this third recipe because I'm really excited about it. It is red pepper chicken. And I just want to point out how I've had so many people tell me they don't have a lot of time. And that's how these meals are different. Maybe you've seen online like the idea you can spend a whole weekend and prep your meals for a month or prep your meals for a week. But that could take a whole weekend. Like, who has a whole weekend just to make meals? I feel like it's hard for me to find 1 hour to do this cooking class. So I want to make it as easy and quick as I can for you to make these meals. It's really important that they just come together very quickly and then cook for the first time later. That's what's going to set these recipes apart from other ones that you see online. This red pepper chicken, you might see I'm adding some different colored peppers. I bought the bag at Costco that had a mix of red, orange, and yellow peppers. Any kind of sweet pepper is good. And they're sliced, and I'm just kind of adding a mix of them to each bag, eyeballing it. They look pretty even to me. This is going to be a really fresh and delicious meal. We like to shred this and either have it on salad, have it with rice. Sometimes we eat it on tortillas. That's really delicious. I wanted to tell you that, someone messaged me on Instagram. Actually, a lot of people messaged me on Instagram and sent me emails about how these meals are working for them. So I printed some of these messages for you because it's one thing for me to tell you that these are going to change your life, and it's something else for you to hear about other people in different life situations and how they're using freezer meals. So Soraya sent me a message. I took your first YouTube class and became a pro member. It has literally changed my life. I just finished my second month of freezer cooking, and I'm so relieved to have meals ready for the next month after my baby comes. For the first time ever, my family is eating a balanced meal that actually tastes good every single night. Awesome. Great job. Great job, Soraya. I absolutely prepped these freezer meals before I had my kids. I remember, I think it was my 4th baby. By number 5, I wasn't such an overachiever. But with number 4, I made 40 freezer meals so that we were eating those freezer meals for a long time and just like cuddling and not worrying about dinner. So these really can be great. Even if you have a daughter or a daughter-in-law, give her a couple meals. She'll like love you forever. I'm sure she'll love you no matter what, but meals are always welcome. I wanted to tell you too. So Carrie had messaged me. I attended one of your classes earlier this year. I loved actually seeing you put the meals together. I bought the membership and have been making your meals. We love them. I signed up for your 10 meals in an hour class too because I'm so visual and watching you just helps. Okay, that's why I'm doing these classes, because I really think seeing them makes a difference. Megan said, I made 10 freezer meals before I had my baby. It's been amazing on my postpartum journey not to cook. There's a lot of reasons why you can make these meals and really make a difference in your life. Okay, so let's get back to our red pepper chicken. Okay, I put in the bell peppers, and now I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'm gonna add this to each bag. If you make this in the Instant Pot, you might need to add a little bit of extra liquid. I would recommend water or chicken broth. I wrote that in the recipe. I also put that on the label. But if you do it in the crock pot, I don't like to use a lot of liquid. It's not going to burn, I promise you. It's just gonna be a really flavorful, delicious dinner. Crock pot recipes get a bad rap. Everyone thinks they're mushy, they think they have no flavor. This is your answer. Good recipes, not too much liquid, using enough seasonings, using fresh ingredients. This is how you can make them work over time. Let's add an onion. And again, I'm using my diced onions, same cup. I love prepping a bunch of meals at once because I only have to wash my measuring cups and measuring spoons one time. It really saves so much time. Just by devoting the time right now to making these meals, I'm gonna have 12 nights over the next few months when I don't have to cook. These are good for at least 3 months. And when I'm busy, I'm just gonna get up in the morning, I'm gonna dump this in my crock pot and go about my day. And then at 5 o'clock, maybe I make a side dish. I have a programmable rice cooker. It was probably $30 on Amazon. I can put rice in it and forget about it. Sometimes we just do baby carrots, or we do a salad, or maybe just garlic bread. Keep it simple, make your life easy, and it's just so much more enjoyable to sit down for dinner when you weren't stressed over cooking it or having little kids pull at your leg or hang on you. Just have that extra time and no stress. The seasonings for this meal are crushed red pepper flakes, black pepper, garlic powder, and salt. It's not spicy. These are all kid-friendly meals. But if you're super sensitive to spice, or let's say for some reason you can't eat pepper, just don't add it. That's totally fine. If you want to even taste test after cooking and then add a little bit, you can do that. I want you to love this. I want you to eat it all or have a little bit left over for lunch the next day. And then I want you to make it again. This is a red pepper chicken, and it's so simple. Does anyone else love like a simple recipe that tastes good? Isn't that like the best type of meal? I think so. That's all we need for this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and move it over. We're going into our last batch of meals. So let me tell you how Zoe is using these recipes. Hold on, let me move these over so you can see what I'm doing. Zoe messaged me on Instagram and said, "Thank you for being a great resource. I attended your live class earlier this week and was so happy for the coupon code. I went out and bought the ingredients for 10 meals right away. We have them because we're a small family, especially in worrying times like these. To have 20 meals ready in the freezer in about 2.5 hours was great. Everything tasted amazing, and it's been expanding my horizon. I never would have used cooking vinegars or certain spices before. Now I see how delicious they are. My husband and 1-year-old love the food too. Thank you." Thank you, Zoe, for telling me that. And she really makes a good point about if you're cooking for less people. These meals have 4 to 6 servings, but if you're only cooking for 1 or 2 people, you can split each recipe into 2 freezer bags. That way you're still using the whole can of beans, the whole can of tomato sauce, or the whole pound of meat, and you end up with double the meals. So then cook them in a smaller slow cooker. 2 to 4 quarts probably would be best. There was actually a time when I made 20 freezer meals for my grandparents. I just took 10 recipes, I split them into 2 bags each, and bought them like a small crock pot at the time, and then they could just like have dinner at home. And that was just like a really sweet thing to do. So, okay. I'm getting cues as I go. Oh, I wanted to say, Heather said, "I recently joined after watching a class. I made so many meals for my husband, who's a commercial fisherman and away from home 6 months a year, which means lots of unhealthy food." Well, not anymore. Thanks. I love this story. Again, just shows how other people are using freezer meals, making them work for them. Carrie messaged me, "I love your meals. They made me realize how easy it is to make them." Awesome. Let's do our last recipe. I have to grab the bags. The last group is honey sesame chicken. And by this point, you can see how much variety is in these meals. Like, you can have turkey chili for dinner one night, and then you can have honey sesame chicken the next night. Maybe serve this with some steamed broccoli. That's one vegetable that my three older daughters will all eat. Huge win. I love broccoli too. So serve this with broccoli, maybe rice. It's a totally different meal. Like, you could eat from your crock pot or Instant Pot every night. You don't have to. Whenever I'm writing recipes, we maybe do. I've written 20 cookbooks now. I've made thousands of meals. So we do eat a lot from our crock pot. And you can just vary the side dishes. Do a little bit of variety with the toppings. Like with your chili, maybe do crushed tortilla chips. And that way you have a lot of different textures and tastes. My son likes it when I actually spoon the chili into chips, like the scoop chips. So make a plate, I put down the scoop chips, and I spoon the chili into the chips, and that's how he eats his chili. And that works for me. But you can have a lot of variety even though you're eating from the same appliance. Let's do our honey sesame chicken. I love that all of these ingredients are going away because it means these meals are almost done. I'm going to add diced onion. This is about 1 diced onion to each bag. These are recipes that are going to work for people on different diets. If you eat gluten-free, if you eat dairy-free, Whole30, paleo, keto, these are very easy to adapt. A lot of them are naturally gluten-free or dairy-free. You might just need to check the ingredients. So on our membership site, it might say for the soy sauce, make sure to buy gluten-free soy sauce. Make sure it says that if you're cooking for someone with a gluten allergy or sensitivity. All right, our onions are in. Now I'm gonna add honey. I need 1/2 cup of honey for each bag. I remember a time when my mom and I got together and we made 28 freezer meals. I think it took us about 3 hours. Our legs were kind of tired by the time we were done, but we split up some of those meals and it felt so great to just be stocked for months. Like, can you imagine knowing that you have 28 meals or that you have 12 meals in your freezer and are not going to have to worry about dinner that many nights? Like, it's the best feeling. It's such a relief. It's one of those things that you just can't wait to like text your friends and be like, guess what I did? Or like send them a photo. Would you send me a photo? I would love that. When you make these meals, send me a photo. You could email me. I get tons of email with like success stories. Or also, I love Instagram. If you're on Instagram, that's a really easy way to send a photo. I would love to see your stocked freezer. It's the best thing ever. You should be able to fit these in your upstairs freezer if you clean it out. You don't need a ton of space. I'll show you how I seal them flat and stack them. That's how I fit them in the freezer. Although, since I am running a freezer cooking company, I do have a full freezer in my basement. So we never run out of space, although we run out of meals. These are good for 3 months, but they very, very rarely last that long. Like, we end up eating them right away just because I'm so happy to not have to cook. I like to eat, but the act of actually cooking, it just can take so much time that it feels like I just don't have. All right, I am putting the honey into each bag. All right, now we need ketchup. 1/4 cup of ketchup. Okay. Okay. Like I said, these are all tried and true recipes. This honey sesame chicken is so good. You're gonna love it. But these are all tried and true recipes. When I'm making recipes, when I'm writing them, I'm thinking Like, would I make this again? Would I serve this to guests? And I want that answer to be yes. Because if it's a no, then I'm making it again. And I'll make it again and again. My family can tell you the number of times they've tried recipes because I'm not going to put it in a cookbook. I'm not going to put it on our membership site unless it's delicious. If you're going to make it for your freezer, I want you to love it. We also need water. So I'm just going to put a 1/4 cup of water in here. That one helps us get enough liquid for the Instant Pot if you cook it that way. And it also just brings down the sodium a bit from the soy sauce. I think it's just a really easy way. I don't use a lot of water in my recipes, but I just think it's a great way so it's not like super salty. You want it to be flavorful, but you just don't want it to be like too salty of a dish. So when I figured out I could just add a little bit of water, gives you extra liquid. This is one of those meals that I'll shred the chicken after I cook it and just like mix it in with the sauce. It absorbs all the liquid. You can serve the liquid with a spoon and like spoon it over your rice, over your broccoli. It's so good. All of the recipes have suggested side dishes. That's even in your shopping list. Like in your shopping list says what I would serve it with. So you can buy those things if you want whenever you're buying your other ingredients. Perfect. We need olive oil. 2 tablespoons in each bag. Okay. Okay. And our seasonings. These are 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. That's where this honey sesame chicken name comes from. There is also garlic powder, crushed red pepper flakes, ground black pepper, all going right into our meal. And then I'm going to add the meat. So at this point, I am done with everything else. Okay, these meals are almost done. Let me just clean up this space a bit. After the class, I just add all this to my dishwasher. My kitchen is clean. My freezer is stocked. I think I'm a superstar. I'm like, that's when I'm texting photos to my friends. I mean, like, I did it. I stocked my freezer again. Okay. Oh, I have a couple more stories. Okay, Linda sent me a message. I joined last year and I attend your demos online. Hey, Linda. I hope you can make it today. Your recipes are delicious and easy. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it. Anyone, please do send me your stories because it really keeps me motivated to just keep sharing. It makes me so excited, and I think it helps other people see how these freezer meals are so easy and approachable. Lesta had sent me a message. Before my husband died 3 years ago, he was a big eater, loved food and life. Now my daughter lives with me and I find cooking boring, but you have really helped me with your Freezer Meal Pro membership. Of course, being just the 2 of us, the meals go twice as far. We really enjoy working together to get them in the freezer. It has cut my food bill, and I don't waste much, and it is actually fun again. We do like to have things in the freezer to go directly in the crock pot. It has given me a new reason to enjoy food again and keep moving forward. Thank you for that. And thank you, Lesta, for sending me this message. I think this speaks to that, yes, it's great to have food in your freezer. It's good to have healthy food that you feel good about eating and serving your family, and how being organized and taking care of yourself and taking care of your family can just mean so much more to you. I really appreciate you sharing this story, and I think other people can see how they would feel better if they did have like a freezer stocked with meals. Okay, let's add the meat. First, I'll bring out my ground turkey. I bought all of this at Costco. This is a lean ground turkey, so it's really perfect for the crock pot. Like I said, this is all added raw. Haven't done this, give it a try. You're gonna love it. Okay, and the great thing about doing the meat at the end, you don't have to worry about cross-contamination. You're doing it all at once. If you have to cut it, you're cutting it once. One cutting board, one knife. You're not washing your knife in between each recipe. I'm getting really messy right now, but I'm just gonna keep going. And then I will wash my hands when I'm done. I will obviously wash my kitchen scissors when I'm done too. That's why I do like to do the meat all at once, especially because you're working with raw meat, so you want to be careful. All of these meals will cook before you eat them, so you don't have to worry about that. My crock pot manual says you can add the meat raw. My Instant Pot, you can add the meat raw. So that's not a concern. I will show you a little cooking demo. Once I'm done with the meals, I'll actually show you how I make them in my crock pot and Instant Pot, just how the setting works. And I am adding 1 package of ground turkey to each of these meals. The the turkey and black bean chili and the garden vegetable soup with ground turkey. If you wanted to do a lean ground beef, you could. If you wanted to do ground chicken, you could. They'll be delicious. And like I said, when I bought these ingredients, I got 2 extra packages of ground turkey. So we even have those to make into other meals, even for that price. So great. Love freezer meals. Love Costco. Any other Costco lovers out there? Okay. Us turkey. Okay. This is one of those things, if your kids are a little bit older, you could get them to help you with these meals. A lot of people tell me that they cook with their kids in the kitchen. I think that's so great that they're learning to cook. If you have a teenager, if you have a college student, they can make these meals. I think my daughter, I could put her in charge of the meat. She likes to clean out like pumpkins. Like, I guess she's not bothered by texture. So that's my daughter who just turned 11. She could maybe be in charge of all the messy stuff. All right, I'm gonna get the chicken to add to my chicken meals, and I'm gonna use my apron just to try and stay clean. Again, not contaminating anything with the raw meat. Always got to be careful. Okay. And I'm just gonna add 1 pack of chicken to each meal. I bought these at Costco. These are their organic and free range, hand cut premium boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You don't need to do that. It doesn't have to be organic. You can do whatever you like or whatever works for your budget. And I'm going to do 1 packet per bag. I don't know how much. Let's see if I can see how much is in each one of these. Let's see if it says here. So these were about $5 a pound, which is not bad for organic chicken. This says 4 pounds. So this is maybe a little over a pound. I believe the recipes call for 1.5 pounds of chicken, and that tends to be 4 to 6 servings. It may depend on your breasts. So right now this is 3 breasts here. You could cut them after cooking or shred them. I typically do shred the meat in the crock pot. The chicken, I think it's so flavorful. It's really tender. We love to eat it that way. My kids love it shredded. So even though you might see me add 3 chicken breasts and think, how's that going to feed 6 people? Or in my case, even 7 people with some little kids. It's because we're going to shred it after cooking and then spoon it into our dishes as opposed to eating like a whole huge chicken breast per person. These are pretty much trimmed. If you needed to cut the fat, you could, but these look pretty good to me. So I am just going to put this back here in my red pepper chicken. See, now this bag has 4 breasts in it. So it might just depend on the size. Okay. As you can see, it is messy working, especially these packages from Costco. So I'm glad we're just doing that all at once. I should point out that I am using reusable freezer bags. So I used to only use Ziploc, and I still recommend Ziploc. I love name brand freezer bags. I absolutely still use them. But I was looking for a reusable alternative and found these gallon-sized bags that you can use and then just wash and reuse. And they are great. I'm trying a new brand today. The ones, they seem very similar to my favorite. My favorite are by a company called Fresh Menu Kitchen on Amazon. Fresh Menu Kitchen. That link is in your freebie. So if you want to check them out, this is a different company because the Fresh Menu Kitchen were out of stock. I actually emailed them and was like, when are you going to be back in stock? Because I want to tell people during my class, and they said this week they'll be back in stock. But I figured I would try out another bag. I'm always like testing and retesting bags and tools, and I only want to tell you the best ones. These ones are very similar, and they were by a company called Tiblu. Found them on Amazon, so I figured I would give them a try, and I'll let you know if they're any better than Fresh Menu Kitchen. But I want to wash my hands and just kind of move this messy stuff over to my sink. Give me 1 minute. Okay, and I want to show you how I seal all of these meals. To do that, I'm just going to quickly wipe off my counter. Okay. Most of this, it's not too messy right here, but just want to make sure. Okay. And whenever I seal these bags, we're just going to do them flat so we can stack them in the freezer. Whenever I seal them, I get it so it's almost, let's say maybe like an inch or two of the end. I squeeze the air out, seal it all the way, and then I end up stacking them flat. This is how your baggie stand goes flat as well. And then you can stack these in your freezer. You do not need to have any kind of fancy vacuum sealer. I have used them. I've tested them. They're good. They're not great for meals that have a lot of liquid, and a lot of my recipes do have liquid, so they can work in the Instant Pot, and just crock pot recipes in general, like soups, or like the soup that we made, the chili. So I don't use a vacuum sealer. I just push the air out, and really, to be honest, I have never had a meal that got freezer burn. Like, it's not as big of a deal as people say, or as much of a concern. I think if you just seal it, you'll be fine. Even using my apron just to get a little bit of the tomato sauce out of this so that I can seal it all the way. Okay. Go. Whenever I'm done here, I am just going to put these in my refrigerator because I'm going to store them in my basement freezer. For a long time, I also had, it was just like an extra refrigerator that we kept in our basement. And then I would use that freezer for storing meals. So when I think I made 28 freezer meals before I had my third daughter, and that freezer was stocked. It was great. And then I made 40 meals before I had my son. By the time I had my fifth baby, I made 12 freezer meals. I decided that was good enough. But I would just store them in that extra fridge freezer. This would be a great group of meals to make with friends too, since you're making more than one of each recipe. If you did it with two friends, like you could each have one of each recipe if you wanted to, or you could all make them all. Squeeze that air out. I've even made 36 meals. So I've only done this a couple times, so I've done 36 meals it takes me about 5 hours, and they're all different recipes. So you know by now I'm like a crazy planner. So I've actually created meal plans where they're all different recipes, seasonal recipes, and then they're planned out, eating them for 3 months. We have a fall meal plan, I have a winter meal plan, and those are free for our Freezer Meal Pro members. They get to access those, but I've made those, and that is awesome. If you have 36 freezer meals, yes, it does take 5 hours to make all of them, but your life is set. You don't have to cook for that many nights. Okay, last few meals. I think I can tell these are slightly harder to seal than the ones by Fresh Menu Kitchen, but I'm not sure. Maybe that just means they absolutely won't leak in your fridge, which is great. I've had meals leak in my fridge before, which sucks. Okay, put these in my fridge. My fridge is still very full from other things I bought at Costco. Okay, I'm hoping at this point you have had one of those light bulb moments where you're like, this is amazing, these raw freezer meals are everything, and you're like ready to text your friend and be like, you're not gonna believe what I learned today. Or maybe you're texting your mom, your daughter-in-law, and you're like, yes, like we're gonna make these meals. So what I want to do is, if you haven't seen our Freezer Meal Pro membership site, I just want to do a quick demo. It's like the only site of its kind, so you need to see how it works. It was created for people who want to make these easy and healthy freezer meals, and my husband kind of like made it happen. He created it himself. So what I want to do is I want to grab my other mic, grab my laptop, and just actually show you how it works. Freezer Meal Pro is its own site. This is actually a database online. It has all of my recipes that can be frozen raw. You log in, you can scroll through, look at photos of the cooked meals, and I just want to show you how I would use this to do my next prep session. So you know that I have ground turkey that I want to use in a meal. We can search based on that. Let's see what we get. Immediately, these mozzarella stuffed turkey pesto meatballs are jumping out at me. I know I want to make these because my kids love them, and they can be made in the oven. So now I'll have some crock pot meals, Instant Pot, and we'll have an oven. Super simple ingredients, materials, how to freeze it for later, how to cook it in the oven, full nutritional info. If I click this little shopping cart icon, that'll add it to my shopping list, and then I'm going to pick one more ground turkey meal. How about this turkey burger macaroni? This is like a healthy hamburger helper, and it's made on the stovetop. So a little more variety, very simple. How to freeze it, cook it, full nutritional info. Add it to my shopping list. And I'll show you another way to search for meals. I had checked at my local grocery store, and pork roasts are buy one, get one free this week. So if we go to protein, I could search based on beef, chicken, pork, seafood, turkey, or vegetarian. I know I want to look for pork. And then I will pick one of these pork recipes. Definitely this teriyaki pork tenderloin. This was in one of my cookbooks. It's so good. Really easy. Again, a little more variety. I am actually going to make 2 of these. So if I get my buy one free pork tenderloin, I'll just make 2. They're good for 3 months. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I want to show you a little bit more of your search options. Let's say I want to do a little more search for cooking method. I have crockpot, grill, Instant Pot, oven, or stovetop. I'm going to select grill. Maybe freeze a couple meals for my grill. First, I'll go with this basic barbecue marinated chicken. Love that one. Very simple, delicious, healthy. Add it to my shopping cart. And then let's pick one more. Lemon garlic marinated chicken. This is for the grill. Shopping cart. Our other search options are diet. You can look for dairy-free, gluten-free, ketogenic, paleo, vegetarian, or whole food. And then you could search again by protein, cooking method, cookbook, ingredient. Now I want to show you the absolute best thing about Freezer Meal Pro. Absolute magic. We go up to shopping list, clicked my shopping list, and this is where the magic happens because a super organized shopping list just popped up. It has everything by aisle at the grocery store. And you can adjust the number of servings, either increase or decrease. If I want to make 2 of those teriyaki pork tenderloins, I would just increase that to 12 and the shopping list just automatically updated as well. This is everything I need down here to make these meals. I will cross off whatever. I already have a pan I can use, foil, I have bags, plastic wrap, and I would just go through here. Okay, the ground turkey, I don't need that. Cross off whatever I have on hand, and then I can save this menu and I can print it. Let's click print menu and I'll show you. Okay, here's everything I need. I'm not actually going to print it right now, but here's everything I need, including what's crossed off. And then if you scroll down, it's all the recipes. So like literally my next prep session is just planned in like 2 minutes. It's so great. So I would just print this and then I order my groceries and prep my meals, and I am a total superstar because I have a very, very stocked freezer. If you're not a member yet, all you need to do is go to freezermealpro.com/Costco. And this is where you are going to find you can join for a one-time fee. No strings attached, lifetime membership. This isn't that little sneaky charge you get every month. This is one time, once and done, use it for life over and over again. You can scroll down here. You read a little bit more about me, how I got into freezer meals, and then you can see other people who had joined Freezer Meal Pro. I know we have a lot of members here today. Thank you guys. Love you. We have our cookbooks. So everyone who joins Freezer Meal Pro gets access to all of my cookbook ebooks. There are over 20 instant downloads you could download today, all of my best recipes. And when I write these new cookbooks or ebooks, they are automatically added to Pro for free. When I write new recipes for my blog, they're added to Pro for free. So you're getting new recipes over time. If you are ready to join, you just go ahead and click Add to Cart. Since you joined this class today, I'm going to give you some extra savings. So not only are you joining for a one-time fee, $97 is totally worth it. Like, it's a great deal. You're going to use this over and over and over again to save money. But if you use the coupon code Costco, you will save an extra 20%. Right here, you're going to save another $19.40, bringing your total cost, your one-time fee, down to $77.60. This is good for 2 days only. If you know you want to join, please do it right now. Like, I know that people are going to be emailing me next week and be like, hey, I love Freezer Meal Pro. I want to join. Is it on sale? No, it's not. I'm sorry. But this is your chance. Even if you pay $97, it's a great deal. You're going to save so much time and money. But you took your time out of your day to attend this class today. I'm going to give you that extra savings, $77.60. It's a great price. This is your chance. This is the time. click proceed to checkout, and all you need to do is enter your name and your email address. You'll click next, and then put in your billing details, and then check your email, because that's where you're going to have your link to log in, and I will start sending you tips to help you get the most of your membership. Isn't that amazing? I want to jump into a quick Q&A before I do a demo and show you how to cook the meals in your crock pot or Instant Pot. Now, Linda had submitted a question that said, is there a way to tell which ingredients in the shopping list go with each recipe? And I love this question. It's a really good one because it helps me point out. So in your freebie, I am very organized. Is anyone else out there a planner? Do you love like organization? Because every ingredient when it's organized by aisle says which recipe it goes with. So your ground turkey is with recipes 1 and 2. If you know you're not going to make those meals, you would cross off any ingredient with number 1 or 2. That's your frozen corn for the chili or your paprika for the chili. That's how you know what to simply cross off your shopping list. Now, if you're a member of Freezer Meal Pro, that's not even an issue because you're going to be auto-generating your own shopping lists. So you're going to pick the recipes that you want to make and then create your shopping list. So you won't have to go through my pre-made shopping lists to check off what you want to make, what you don't want to make, and make those changes. You'll just pick the recipes that work for you. Great question. Next question. Let's see what else people are saying. I did see one question about the bags, and it was, are they dishwasher safe? These are not. I have used silicone bags that are dishwasher safe, but they're very thick, and a lot of them are small. I prefer these big bags. They're similar to the gallon-sized bags. You have to hand wash them, but I mean, you're only washing one bag at a time. When you make that meal, quickly wash it. We're talking 60 seconds or less. Hot water, soap, and then I even use my baggie stands. I'll turn the bag inside out, and then I just let it sit on this to dry. So I think it's worth it hand washing them, but there are bags that are dishwasher safe, so you could totally do that. Let's see if there are other questions. Okay, Louise, do you allow for fresh herbs I have frozen from the garden? Sure, Louise, yes, use your fresh herbs. You can totally do that. Most of the time I am using dried herbs just because you can get them at any grocery store. Most of my ingredients are things you're already going to have on hand, so that'll keep your costs low. Nothing super fancy. You don't need to go to specialty stores. If you don't have them on hand, I'm excited for you to buy them because maybe you're going to try a couple spices that you haven't had before that you're really going to like for these to make them flavorful and fresh. Okay, Michelle, how many servings does one bag make? It's 4 to 6. Every recipe tells you. Most of them are 6 servings. You can increase by adding more meat, maybe more veggies, decrease by splitting it into 2 bags. Oh, someone had asked about the labels. I had pre-labeled the bags. So I said I used the sticker labels. I stuck them to the bags before the class started to save time. But you could write on your bags with Sharpie marker. You can tape the labels if you just want to print on regular paper. You can, if you use disposable bags, just write on them with Sharpie the cooking instructions. Let's see, Lauren, does the ground turkey, ground beef become mushy when cooking it in the crock pot from raw? No, I definitely wouldn't say it was mushy. It does cook down. It's crumbly like ground beef or ground turkey gets in the crock pot or on the stove top, but it's not mushy. A lot of people think that about crock pot meals in general. They can get mushy. They're worried about their veggies getting mushy. If you cook it for the right amount of time, it's not going to be mushy. It's not going to be dry. You just have to decrease your cooking time. Get to know your slow cooker, your crock pot. I'm just going to show you mine so I can tell you. Okay, so this is my crock pot. If I'm ready to make my freezer meals, I will just grab the recipe. All right, wait. Hold up. I'm getting a hold of myself. So I'm gonna take one more question and then I'll get into this. Sorry about that. I get so excited. I'll just do one more question and then I will show you this, Lauren, how I work it. Okay, Marie, any tips for replacing tomato sauce, ketchup, acid, or adding something to prevent it? I probably wouldn't prevent it. What I would do is pick a different recipe. I have thousands of recipes. Like, I've spent 9 years writing these no-cook freezer meals. If these 4 aren't the best for your diet, I have other ones for you. I have a blog, thefamilyfreezer.com, with recipes on it for free. The membership site has tons of recipes, hundreds of no-cook recipes. I have cookbook ebooks, a print cookbook. I absolutely have recipes for you that are going to work for you. I know that's true no matter your diet concern. So I would pick, if it's a big ingredient like tomato sauce, I would probably pick a different recipe. If it was a small substitution, maybe omitting garlic powder, I think that would be okay to make, but it would be hard to take out like the actual tomato sauce in a recipe. I'd probably just pick something else. All right, we are starting to run out of time, so I want to get into the cooking demo. And I want you to imagine you have your freezer meal. Okay, just grabbing this one. Let's imagine this is out of the freezer. If this fits in your crock pot, you can add it frozen. Let's say it's frozen like this. You can put it in here frozen. If it doesn't fit, you might need to run this under water or let it sit in water for a minute, just so you can break it apart. It doesn't have to be completely thawed. If you remember ahead of time, put it in the refrigerator overnight and let it thaw so it's really easy to break apart. I am not always that organized. I don't always remember. So you can do a quick thaw. You just put it in here. Now in this case, I need 4 cups of water. That's what it says on my label. So I would add my 4 cups of water after it's dumped in. And then I put on my lid. And then I have this programmable crock pot. I will put this link in your freebie. But what I do is I would select low and then I put in the cooking time. This one is 6 to 8 hours. I would do 6 hours because this is very high cooking, and then it'll switch to warm. So it can sit on warm for 3 hours, 6 hours. It doesn't matter, but I don't want it to get overcooked. I don't want your chicken to turn out really dry. I don't want your vegetables to be mush. I want them to be crunchy. I want them to be delicious. If you wanted to, you could even wait to add veggies at the very end of the cooking time if you had packaged them separately. You could throw, let's say, if you had peppers, you could put them in the last 60 minutes of cooking so that they're al dente. But my kids prefer it's a little bit softer. Not mush, but soft. So I cook it all together. And I love the programmable crock pot. Set it and forget it. You're putting this in the morning. You have your busy day. You come home and it's like, dinner is done. Like, yes. And just do maybe like this. With this one, I would serve this with garlic bread or crescent rolls. My 6-year-old loves crescent rolls. So I'll do crescent rolls. And when I have my leftovers for lunch the next day, I'm going to make a grilled cheese. Okay. I'll show you the Instant Pot. I know we have our Instant Pot lovers out there. And it's pretty much the same. You can put this in raw and it can be completely frozen. Then you click saute and saute for 5 minutes. This is on your label or on your recipe. You saute for 5 minutes. That releases a little bit of liquid. Then you flip the meal over. At that point is when I would add the water to this specific soup. You put on your lid. Let's see if I can do it from this angle. Pressure cook for 25 minutes and then do a natural release. I think that makes the meat really tender. And then again, you would just like break up that ground turkey. Dinner is done. I want to thank you for attending this class. Thank you so much for taking this time out of your day. I know you are busy. If you have questions, reply to my email. I'm sending you those free recipes right after this class. Reply to that email. I will check my email. I will get back to you. I don't want you to have any lingering questions. Send me your success stories. If you're making these meals and they work for you, I can't tell you, I get tons of stories. People email me all the time, and it is a huge source of motivation just for me to keep going, keep making these meals, teaching these classes. I would love to hear from you and how they're working for you. So again, just thank you so much, and I'll see you later.